My name is Kayya. My heritage is mixed white and black African, technically. My dad is from Guyana and my mum is British. I grew up in Wakefield. Wakefield area. I moved around a fair bit, West Yorkshire, really. Back then, I wasn't really thinking, I didn't have the names for anything. I knew that I was different and looked different to other people. But I didn't really have any education from my mum on like who I was. So I was just kind of like, I was like aware of my differences, but just kind of still, living. So it was a predominantly white area. I think in my school year, there was rarely more than 3 non-white people. Yeah, I kind of left as soon as I was old enough to. There's not really anything to report other than that. I was, a child there, went out playing in the park. I had maybe like one experience of overt racism in the park. But the rest was very subtle, so growing up I didn't even notice. It wasn't until I've got older that I've looked back on that time and thought, oh, people were actually really, really racist. Growing up it was me, my mum and my older brother, and then I have a younger brother who's 11 years younger. So his dad was around from when I was about 4. Yeah, I guess my mum was working, and I guess that forms part of the reason why, she wasn't able to kind of give as much attention to educating us on who we are. She kind of cut off the contact with my dad, but also his whole side of the family. So I think for a little period we would go down to visit, but it was stopped quite when I was still quite young. And then I didn't reconnect until I was older, like 17, 18. So yeah, just felt very disconnected, from my African roots. For a long time, I thought I was Jamaican because my grandma had a Caribbean accent. And it wasn't until I was maybe like 14 that I learned I was Guyanese. Yeah, so the context of my piece was the relationship to my mother and how that has impacted and influenced the relationship that I have with my daughter. It's really been since 2020 that I've really been trying to practice my poetry writing and then building my confidence up to share it. I wouldn't say I have a refined style, but yeah, just being more confident in my narrative because growing up, I was not allowed to say how I felt. I wasn't even allowed to feel how I felt. So it's been it's been a step on my healing journey. I think there's layers to healing. It is one of those stages is being able to name things, being able to talk about things. And then the next step for me is being able to the next step has been putting it into like channeling it creatively. And then the next step has been sharing those creations. So yeah, like in writing it and then sharing it is, really helped me be who I am now. Like just be confident in who I am and what I have to say. And I hope that radiates out to the people who hear it.